Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good afternoon, everybody. Today we are going to start a new module, Module 2. What's the title for Module 2? What's the title for Module 2?
Communication.
Hands up, please.
Communication.
Communicate.
Raise your hand, please. I can see your names. Yes, Abdurrahman Marwan?
Communication.
Yes, communication. Good. And the title for Unit 4, Amjad?
Communication.
Communicating. The title for Unit 4, Communicating.
Communicate.
And the lesson is about listening. Listening, an important aspect of effective communication. Why is communication important? Muhammad Mahmoud, why is communication important?
To keep in touch with people or family, friends.
Good. Muhammad Maher?
Communication helps you to share your information without your family and friends. You can share it with anyone at all.
So communication is important to exchange our opinions, ideas, feelings with other people. And it's a way of learning about the world around us. Without communication, you don't know how what is going to happen, or what is going to happen or happening around you. Okay, now look at the picture here. What are they doing? What are they doing? Muhammad Majdi.
He listening.
They are listening. They are communicating. They are chatting or talking. So they are communicating. One is a listener and the other is a speaker. They are interlocutors. Interlocutors, people who are involving in the conversation. Interlocutor. You shouldn't interrupt the speaker while talking. You should listen to him carefully. Interlocutor, someone who is involved in the conversation. How many ears are there? How many ears are there? Amjad Taysir?
Yes, teacher.
How many ears are there?
أنت أستاذ. You.
Sorry?
Listen you.
Listen you.
مش
Abdurrahman Marwan.
معناه إنه
Two.
How many? Yes, how many ears are there?
Two, yes.
Two, of course. We are human beings. We all have 2 ears. What does this mean? So we should listen, then we speak. Complete it, this sentence with one word. Muhammad Majdi.
Teacher. So we
Can you
should
complete the
listen.
sentence?
So we should listen carefully, then we speak.
Then, not then here. So we should listen
Carefully.
Ziad?
More than we speak.
More than we speak. Yes, more than. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So we should listen more than we speak. Okay, very good. How do you feel when you talk to someone who doesn't listen to you? How do you feel? Muhammad Maher.
You will feel irritated and angry.
You feel angry, upset, nervous, worried. Yes, Yusuf Sayyid.
I feel badly.
I feel bad, I feel upset, I feel nervous. Yusuf Atiyah, how can you be a good listener? How can you be a good listener? You should have some characteristics or qualities. What are the qualities of a good listener?
You shouldn't argue with the talker a lot.
Yes, you shouldn't argue with the speaker. You should listen carefully. Yes. Next, Yusuf Sayyid.
You should listen openly and with
Openly, yes.
empathy to the other person.
Very good. Ziad.
I shouldn't interrupt him or interrupt his
I
talk.
shouldn't interrupt the speaker. Very good. I should be attentive. I should be patient. I should understand before I speak. I shouldn't judge before I comprehend. Okay. Why is it important to be a good listener? It's important to be a good listener. Why? Yes, Mahmoud Shahata.
To give the speaker a good amount of time to speak and
Yes.
tell us
Good.
about his thoughts and his opinion.
Thank you. Muhammad Mahmoud.
To solve problem or
Yes, good.
to ensure effective
To
communication.
be able to understand. Yes, good. So it's important to be a good listener, to be recognized and remembered, to feel valued, to feel appreciated, to feel respected, to feel understood, to feel comfortable about a want or need. So being a good listener is a sign of respect. What is the difference between passive listening and active listening? There are two types of listening and active listening. What's the difference? Omar Mahmoud. Your mic doesn't work, Omar. This is the second time. Ali Walid. Yes, you are interested, Omar. You should sit in a quiet place so that you can hear me well. You are going to study. You shouldn't go around the street. Okay, Omar? Ali Walid, please sit in a quiet place. Yes, Ali. What's the difference between passive listening and active listening? Thank you, Omar.
Active listening that you hear and be attention to the listener, to
Very
the
good.
to the one
Yes.
who tell you, or and the passive listener that you are don't pay attention to him and
Ignore.
ignore him.
Ignore.
Ignore.
Yes, ignore. Yes, his beat.
Ignore.
Thank you. Thank you. So passive listening is listening to hear, and active listening is listening to understand. Effective communication is an essential component of healthy relationships, whether it is an interpersonal or organizational. We have two relationships. We have two relationships. Interpersonal, it means a relationship between people, between persons. Organizational is a relationship between companies or firms. Let's learn some of the new vocabulary. Defensiveness, defensiveness. Defend is a verb, defense is a noun, defensiveness is a noun. Defensiveness, behaving in a way that other people are criticizing you. So when you feel that someone is criticizing you, you begin to defend yourself. This is called what? Defensiveness. You want to protect yourself from being criticized. Defensiveness. A major source of communication problems is defensiveness, الدفاعية, defensiveness. Adjustment, adjustment. Look at these glasses. These glasses are broken. They need adjustment, a change in the way someone behaves or thinks. So if you want to do some modification, something needs what? Adjustment. Adjust is a verb. Adjustment is a noun, means modification, adjustment. Now, the following list provides some suggestions for effective listening when confronted with any kind of communication. If you are faced with any kind of communication, here I'm going to give you some tips, some suggestions what to do to be a good listener. Number one, listen openly and with empathy to other person. Empathy, empathy. Empathy, sharing feelings of others. How to listen to our kids? We should listen with empathy. We should listen, we should share their feelings. 2. Practice supportive listening instead of one-way listening. Look at the two pictures. The picture of on the right, on the left, it's supportive listening. He or she is listening attentively, carefully, and supporting the other person. But the picture on the right, the man is listening to music using the headset, and he is not listening to his wife. So this is what one-way listening. He doesn't care about the other person. Ask for paraphrases and repetition to make sure you understand the message. If you don't understand something, you should ask the other person to repeat it again, or to say it again, or to explain, or paraphrase in his own words to understand the message. Listen between the lines. The best listeners listen between the lines. When you read the article today, you will know this expression, what it means. Listen between the lines. Neither control the conversation nor interrupt your interlocutor. 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 Interlocutor means the person who involves what? And who is involved in the conversation, the speaker, interlocutor. You shouldn't interrupt your interlocutor or the speaker. You should give him enough time to speak. Don't react to emotional words, but interpret their purpose. ما تأثرش بكلمات العاطفية أو الكلمات اللي فيها المشاعر. You should paraphrase it. You should translate their purpose. Meaning. Think about the meaning. Don't judge before you comprehend. Don't judge before you understand. Being a good and patient listener helps you to see the world through the eyes of others, thereby enhancing your empathy. Enhance. Enhance means to improve the quality or value or strength. Enhance. The essence of Mahmoud, turn off your mics, please. The essence of empathetic listening is not that you agree with someone, it's that you fully, deeply understand the person. So you should listen with empathy. It means you should understand the person well. So being a patient listener helps you to enhance your capacity for empathy. What is capacity? Capacity means ability, the ability or power to do something. I have a hard disk. Its capacity is 1,000 gigabytes. It's 1 tera. Capacity means the ability or power to do something. Capacity. To conclude, there is nothing better than listening to the wisdom of others in order to increase your own. You should listen to people's wisdom to increase your wisdom. Look at this proverb. There is a Native American proverb. It says, listen or your tongue will keep you deaf. Tongue is a part of your body. It's a part of your body. It helps you to speak. اللسان, tongue. Listen or your tongue will keep you deaf. Deaf means someone who cannot hear at all. أطرش, أصم, deaf. What does this proverb mean? Listen or your tongue will keep you deaf. عمر محمود. يوسف محمد عطية.
Yes, teacher. That means that if you talk too much, you won't be able to listen to the other person.
Yes, you want to understand, you want to be wise. Okay, good. Now, let's learn other words, the new vocabulary. Distraction, distraction, something that interferes with concentration or takes attention away. If you are going to study If you are going to listen to the online listening or online learning, Omar, you should be away from distraction. You should concentrate on your studies. You shouldn't talk with others. You shouldn't use a mobile phone for playing games. So distraction تشتيت الذهن, like watching television while studying. It causes what? Having the loss of concentration. Block out, hide, to stop yourself from thinking about an unpleasant memory because it upsets you. Look at the sky. There is a cloud that blocks out the sunlight. Block out, hide. Assumption, don't make assumption. Assumption is a noun, the verb assume, assumption. Things that is accepted as true and certain to happen without question or proof. Assumption, افتراض. Assumption. Non-verbal. Look at these people. They are not talking. They are not speaking. They are using non-verbal signals, non-verbal messages or signs. They are using their facial expressions, using their eyes, using their hands. These are called what? Non-verbal. Non-verbal communication. Not using words or speech. Non-verbal. غير لفظي. Now, let's do this exercise. Complete with words from the list. I'll give you 2 minutes. Adjustment, enhance, block out, assumption, interlocutor, non-verbal. Read the sentence and complete them with words from the list. Jubran.
The deaf and dumb use a non-verbal way of communication.
Very good. Thank you. Ahmed Haidar.
The picture isn't clear on TV. The dish needs some adjustment.
Excellent. Ahmed Haidar. Thank you. Ziad.
Your fluent English will enhance your chances of getting the job.
Thank you. Excellent. Yusuf Sayed.
This mission doesn't bear any wrong, or this will be our end.
Mission or task. This mission or task doesn't bear any wrong, or this will be our end. We will die.
Block out.
No, we want what here? We want a noun here, Yusuf. Any wrong, a noun here. يبقى أنا انتبه من موقع الكلمة يوسف تعرف أنت مختار إيه. You need a verb, a noun, or an adjective. محمد صالح.
The curtains block out the light.
Number 4, please. Number 4. Number 4.
This mission doesn't bear any wrong, or death will be our end. Assumption.
Yes, very good. Assumption. معنى قلنا يوسف بيقول لك هذه المهمة لا تحتمل أي افتراض خاطئ وإلا الموت سيكون مصيرنا. This mission doesn't bear any wrong assumption, or this will be our end. Thank you. يوسف محمود شحاتة.
The curtains space the light. Why don't you remove them? The curtains block out the light. Why don't you remove
curtains,
them?
ستائر. Yes, block out. Curtains. Thank you. The curtains block out the light. Why don't you remove them? Okay. So, a good listener should pay attention. He should be patient. He should have patience. He should understand. He should share empathy. He shouldn't interrupt the speaker. These are some characteristics of a good listener. A good listener should pay attention to what he listens. A good listener should be patient. A good listener should share his interlocutor's feelings. A good listener shouldn't judge before he understands well. He should show empathy to the other person. He should be away from distraction. So these are the characteristics of a good listener. Are you a good listener? Do you have these qualities? You should behave well. You should respect the other person. You should give him the chance to speak. Now, these are the characteristics we mention of a good listener. A good listener should be attentive, clever, patient, and thoughtful. He should listen openly and with understanding. Now, you are going to read a passage, read an article about the skills of effective listening. هنقرأ يا شباب مقالة عن مهارات الاستماع الفعال، الاستماع الناجح. As you read, find the answers to these questions. مطلوب منك تحدد إجابة الأسئلة دي. A, B, C, D. What is the most common communication problem according to the article? ما هي المشكلة المشتركة أو المنتشرة في مشكلة التواصل؟ How would you deal with it? كيف تتعامل معها؟ Why is empathy an essential factor for healthy communication? لماذا التعاطف عامل أساسي في التواصل الصحي؟ Why is empathy an essential factor for healthy communication? What does the article mean by listening between the lines? اشرح العبارة دي. المقالة بتقول الاستماع بين السطور، زي ما بتقرأ بين السطور. Listening between the lines. What do you understand of the proverb cited in the last line of the article? المقالة ختمت بجملة أخيرة، مثل أو حكمة. A native American proverb says, listen or your tongue will make you deaf. What does this proverb mean? I'll give you 3 minutes or 5 minutes to read the article to find the answer for this question. Okay? Please read and underline the answers. This article is very important. Please read it many times because there are two difficult words, and the topic is really difficult, the problem of communication. And there are some suggestions. How can you modify yourself to get effective listening? Now, I'll ask you to read each paragraph aloud. Muhammad Majdi, would you like to read the first paragraph?
Yes. أقرأ teacher?
Yes.
Communication breakdown. On average, people spend over 75% of their time in interpersonal situation. So is it really a surprise to find that poor communication is at the poor root of a large number of personal problems? Effective communication is an essential
Essential.
essential component of
Element.
component of healthy
Relationship.
relationships, whether it is at an interpersonal or organization.
Organizational. So we have interpersonal, thank you very much. We have two relationships, interpersonal between people and organizational between companies. Thank you. Ziad Hatem.
Communicating effectively involves a number of specific strengths, especially listening skills. A major source of communication problems is defensiveness. When people feel threatened, they will try to protect themselves. This is natural. Nevertheless, a skillful listener is aware of the potential for potential for defensiveness and makes the adjustments needed during their conversation.
Yes. So this paragraph here defines the major source of communication problem is defensiveness. What does defensiveness mean? When people feel threatened, when people feel they are in danger, they will try to protect themselves. This is natural. When someone feels that the other people are criticizing him, so he begins to defend himself or protect himself. This is called defensiveness. Now we've got some suggestions. How can we get effective listening? Let's see Abdurrahman Mustafa. Abdurrahman Mustafa. Yes. The following list.
The following list provides suggestions for effective listening when confronted with any kind of communication.
Yes, the first one.
Listen openly and with empathy to the other person.
Thank you, Abdurrahman. Hamad Saleh, 2. Hamad Saleh. Nasr Yusuf.
Practice supportive listening instead of one-way listening.
Very good. Kareem, 3.
Ask for paraphrases and repetitions to make sure you understand the message.
Thank you. Faris.
Listen between the lines.
Good. Yusuf Sayed.
Hello, teacher.
Yusuf Sayed.
Stop.
Listen
Wait,
between
Hamad.
the lines.
Next. Yusuf. Next. Neither control
the conversation, not interrupt your interlocutor.
Interlocutor. Yes, good. Yes, Hamad.
sorry teacher الماوس عندي كان معلق.
Okay يا حبيبي. حمد.
Don't dodge before you
don't react. Don't react.
Don't react to emotional word, but interpret their purpose.
Interpret their purpose. Translate their purpose. Good. Last one, Yusuf Atiyah.
Yes, teacher. Yes, teacher. Don't judge before you comprehend.
Very good. Let's read the last paragraph. Let's see. Muhammad Ahmad. Yes. محمد عماد.
Being a good and patient listener helps you not only to solve many problems, but also to see the world through the eyes of others. Therapy and thereby enhancing your capacity for empathy. To conclude, there is nothing better than listening to the wisdom of others in order to increase your own. And a Native American proverb says, "Listen, or your tongue will keep you deaf."
Deaf. Someone who cannot hear. Deaf. Thank you. Now let's check the answer. The first one. What is the most common communication problem according to the article? How would you deal with it? Let's see who can answer it. Faris Yasser.
Defensiveness is the major problem in communication.
Yes, very good. How would you deal with it? So we mentioned, yes, defensiveness is the major problem in communication. How would we deal with it? How can we solve it? السطر اللي بعده يا يوسف. فارس السطر اللي بعده هيكون على طول. محمد مجدي.
Make it adjustment needed during this.
Yes, very good. Yes, we can make some adjustments needed during what? During the conversation. Line number 9. Here, defensiveness and make the adjustments needed during their conversation. Okay. Next question. Why is empathy an essential factor for healthy communication? لماذا التعاطف عامل أساسي للتواصل الصحي? Why is empathy an essential factor for healthy communication? زياد حاتم.
Empathy is an essential factor of a healthy communication because it enables people to empathize with their interlocutor and understand what really mean. It also helps them avoid misunderstanding.
Very good. Thank you. So, because it enables people to empathize with their interlocutors and understand what they really mean, it also helps them avoid misunderstanding. يبقى التعاطف والمشاركة الوجدانية بتساعد على فهم الموضوع وبتساعد على تجنب سوء الفهم. ان انت بتتعاطف، هي بتساعد الناس ان تتعاطف مع المتحدث. It enables people to empathize. This is the verb. With their interlocutors and understand what they really mean. It also helps them avoid misunderstanding. What does the article mean by listening between the lines? ماذا نعني بالاستماع بين السطور؟ علي وليد.
It means not to listen to someone surely, but to but to attempt to understand what the other trying to say incorrectly. Indirectly.
Yes. يبقى ما نسمعش بشكل سطحي، لا نسمع ونفهم هو عاوز يقول بشكل غير مباشر. يعني ممكن الكلمة اللي قالها مش قصده كده. يبقى it means listen between the lines. It means not to listen to someone shallowly. We should listen carefully, but to attempt to understand what the other is trying to say indirectly. نحاول نفهم اللي بيقوله بشكل غير مباشر. And the last question, what do you understand of the proverb cited in the last line of the article? ماذا نفهم من الكلمة أو المثل اللي قال في الآخر؟ الأمريكي القديم أو الهنود الحمر اللي عايشين في أمريكا قديما كان بيقولوا استمع وإلا لسانك سيجعلك أصم. Listen or your tongue will make you deaf. This proverb means, as your friend Yusuf mentioned before, what does it mean? Abdurrahman Mustafa?
If you don't listen, when you speak, you don't تفهم anything.
You don't تفهم. You don't understand, عبد الرحمن. You don't understand or you won't understand. Okay, good. يوسف محمود.
You should be a good listener and keep space for others to talk and give their opinions, or you will be deaf or can't hear others and can't know
Yes,
about their
of
opinions.
course. Yes, you want to increase your wisdom. As you mentioned, it means that in order to learn well, you should listen carefully. In order to learn well, you should listen carefully. In order to increase your own wisdom, you should listen to the wisdom of others. Okay? شباب الأسئلة دي مهمة، الأسئلة دي مهمة، أسئلة سيت بوك، الكلمات طبعا موجودة، ادرس كلمات وهتلاقي في تمرينات موجودة عندك وصلت عندك من الصبح. new vocabulary, choose the correct answer to complete the sentence. It's a quiz on forms. You will get your marks as soon as you finish answering the question. Okay, I'm going to stop recording. Please read the article again many times.
Okay. Okay, teacher.
Thank you.